component. That lesson was probably 15 to 20 minutes, but I just picked out a little clip from each one. And here's one that Miss Pinker did that goes with the trying lion that she showed you earlier, but here's a little more information on it.
Practicing that because good readers know different ways that they can attack words. Today, we've got a brand new way that we can attack words that we don't know, words that can be confusing, or words that look a little tricky. This is our new friend, the trying lion. Can you say that with me? Trying lion. That means he is good at trying out words more than one time, okay? So the trying lion is going to try it again. He is going to try to read the sentence again, and he is going to try a word that makes sense. So when he gets to a tricky word, he's going to try to read the sentence again and try a word that makes sense in his sentence. In just a few minutes, you're going to get a chance to do that with some tricky words on our paper. But before we do our tricky words on our paper, we're going to get our ears and our brain warmed up. Because to be a trying lion, you've got to be a really good thinker. And you've got to make sure that your word you tried makes sense. And if it doesn't, try it again. And be the what? Trying lion. All right, listen to the speaker sentence. It was hot outside, so I put on something that starts with a show instead of long pants. What could I put on instead of long pants?
Shirt.
A shirt. But what would be instead of my long pants? What do you think?
Shorts.
Shorts? Let's see which one. It was hot outside, so I put on shirts instead of long pants. See which one makes the most sense. It was hot outside, so I put on shorts instead of long pants. Which one makes the most sense?
Shorts.
Shorts. Guess what you did? You were a trying lion. You tried it one time, and it wasn't quite right, and you tried it again until it made practicing being what with our sentences? The trying lion. And we tried to fit our word in our sentence, and if it didn't make sense, we did what? We went back to try again. All right, watch Miss Pinker with one of our tricky words in our sentences. And at the top, I have my lion to remind me to be a what? A trying lion to help me figure out tricky words. Watch Miss Pinker read this first sentence. My mom likes fried mushrooms. Fried mushrooms? I've never heard of fried mushrooms. That word starts with a fro sound, just like I said in fried. That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to be the trying lion, and I'm going to try to read that sentence again with another word that makes sense. My mom likes fried mushrooms. I've heard of fried mushrooms. I've seen people get that at restaurants before. That makes sense in my brain. I'm going to try one more time. My mom likes fried mushrooms. That's right. That makes sense in my brain. Did you see how Miss Pinker did that? I tried it the first time and it didn't make sense. So I read the sentence again and I tried another word that could make sense. So Miss Pinker was being the what? Trying lion. I was using that strategy to attack my tricky word. Now, I'm going to let you guys have a turn with your paper, and I'm going to come around and knock in to listen as you are reading. I'm going to let each friend use their whisper phone while we're working, okay? I'm going to come and knock in to listen as you read, okay? Everyone begin, and I'm going to tap in while you're practicing the trying lion. Onions make sense? Can you find green onions on a pizza? Good job. I like how you were thinking how it could make sense. Have I heard of a knife? Me either. What else could we use it where we're going to cut something?
Maybe
off to cut something. Way to go. Look at you being, whoop, where'd you go? Look at you being the trying lion. Excellent job. All right, pick up your friends who I got to hear being trying lions. Our friend right here, Miss Harley, she was working on sentence number 2, and she read, do you need a knife to cut the ham? She said, you don't need a knife to cut something. That doesn't make sense. She thought of something else that she uses to cut things, and she went back and tried, do you need a knife to cut the ham? She was being a what? Trying. Okay, so we're going to use our strategy today while we're reading in our book, and our strategy is what? A trying lion. So when you get to a tricky word, try out your first guess in the sentence, and if it doesn't make sense, go back and do what? Try it again. You have to be thinking because you want to make sure that it makes sense in the sentence you're reading. You might have to read into the next sentence or even the one after that to see if your word guess makes sense, okay? And I'm going to be listening for friends who are using our strategy, trying lions, so I can share that with everybody when we finish reading, okay? If you get to the end of your book before your friends do, what could you do? Go back and read it again. Okay, pick up your whisper phones and use our strategy to learn about eating right. Excellent job. All right, pick up your whisper phones.
Put good food on your plate to make a healthy meal. You will be glad you did. Remember to take only what you need. Your stomach. Your stomach will hurt if you eat too much.
What were we practicing in our book? Being a what?
Trying
lion. I would like to share what Ellie did just a few minutes ago right here when she was using her strategy, being a trying lion. Let's flip back to the page she was working on then. She was reading about these healthy foods, and she read, remember to take only what you need. Your stomach, and she sort of stopped, because your brain had never heard of a stomach, had it? So then she went back and she worked on that word again, and she said stomach. Stomach? She had that kind of question in her voice because she wasn't absolutely sure, and she kept reading. Your stomach will hurt if you eat too much. Now, what do we know about our stomachs? What can happen to them if we eat too much?
They can hurt real bad.
So does that make sense if you put stomach in there? So Ellie found her word because she used her strategy. She tried to read the sentence again, and she tried a word that makes sense. She was a what? A trying lion. Very good. Pat yourselves on the back for being a trying lion today.
And as you're watching, like Miss Wallace walked up and she said, really that kind of goes hand in hand with Flippy Dolphin because, you know, you could try the different vowel sounds that way as well. But they're all very interconnected.
Any questions about Chunky Monkey and Trying Lion or how it's fitting into a lesson? Okay, we got one more clip, and this goes with Skippy Frog. And you'll see the paper that we had used earlier with our sentences in here. So this is how you might put this into a lesson. And again, I just put a little clip so you didn't have to listen to me for 20 minutes.
Although you got to listen to me for 20 minutes, which was wonderful. Shut up.
Today we're going to practice Skippy Frog. And what we're going to do is, if we get stuck on a word, we're just going to skip the word. watch me do this. The crowd clapped very loudly when their team won the game. Oh, if your team won, you would cheer and clap, right? But this starts with oh, another word for that would be applause. And this one ends in the ed, so it must be applauded. Let's applaud. Very good. Watch me read it fluently now. The crowd applauded very loudly when their team won the game. Read it and then skip over and go to the end and see if we can figure out what that tricky word is. Ready? The boy when he heard the funny joke. What would a boy do when he hears a funny joke, Sid? Laughed. I love how you said the duck on the end because I see that ed chunk on the end. Let's read it fluently.